You've probably noticed him before, the man who walks into a room and instantly commands attention. He's not necessarily the most handsome guy there. He's not dressed in designer clothes, and he's certainly not showing off a luxury car in the parking lot. By most conventional measures, he might even appear completely ordinary. Yet, there's something about him that makes people lean in. Something magnetic. So what's his secret? The truth is, it's not about pickup lines, flashy status symbols, or manufactured confidence. It's about something deeper, the real psychology of magnetic attraction. And once you understand it, you'll see why some men naturally draw people in while others push them away without realizing it. Why copying never works. When most men notice someone who's naturally magnetic, their first instinct is to ask, "What's he doing that I'm not?" They watch his mannerisms, his timing, his way of talking, and then they try to replicate it. But imitation always feels hollow. Why? Because what makes him magnetic isn't his external behavior, it's his inner state. You can mimic the way someone smiles or phrases a joke, but unless that comes from the same place of genuine confidence and ease, it will feel forced. It's like faking a smile. You can move your mouth into the right shape, but everyone can tell whether or not you actually feel happy. A real smile radiates from the inside out. And that same principle applies to attraction. Real charisma, presence, and confidence aren't performed, they're lived. The shift that changed everything. I learned this lesson firsthand. At a wedding years ago, I noticed a friend, let's call him David, effortlessly charming everyone he spoke to. Afterward, I spent weeks trying to copy his conversational style. I mirrored his timing, borrowed his expressions, and even practiced asking questions the way he did. But when I tried it in real conversations, everything felt stiff and unnatural. I wasn't connecting, I was performing. That's when it hit me, David wasn't magnetic because of what he said. He was magnetic because he was comfortable being himself. The breakthrough came when I stopped trying to be like David and started asking myself, what genuinely interests me about people? When I leaned into my own curiosity, my timing and presence naturally improved. When I worked on building real confidence, through experiences that proved I could handle whatever came my way, I no longer needed to pretend. Attraction stopped being about performance and started being about presence. Why trying makes you less attractive? Here's the paradox. Trying to be attractive often makes you less attractive. When you're performing, people sense it. It reveals insecurity, neediness, and inauthenticity, the very qualities that repel. The most magnetic men aren't trying to be magnetic at all. They're simply so at ease with themselves that attraction becomes a byproduct of their authenticity. The core of magnetism, completeness. The single most powerful trait magnetic men share is a sense of completeness. They don't look to others for validation, approval, or worth. Instead, they operate from a place of inner wholeness. This internal completeness creates a rare kind of energy. Because they aren't trying to get anything from an interaction, they're free to give attention, curiosity, and presence. They don't keep score. They don't manipulate. And that generosity makes people want to be around them. Depth without performance. Another quality that stands out is a combination of self-knowledge and restraint. Truly magnetic men know who they are, what they value, and what they want. But they don't feel compelled to justify or explain themselves constantly. It's like an iceberg. What you see is appealing, but you can sense there's much more beneath the surface. That quiet confidence creates intrigue without effort. This is different from the extremes most men fall into, either oversharing in a desperate attempt to connect, or withholding everything in a clumsy attempt to appear mysterious. Both come from insecurity. The sweet spot is self-awareness without overexposure, openness without neediness, depth without confusion. The power of authenticity. Perhaps the rarest and most attractive quality of all is the courage to be authentically yourself, even when it risks rejection. Most people spend their lives performing, saying what they think others want to hear, adjusting their personalities to fit in, or softening their opinions to avoid conflict. But authentic men risk being disliked in order to be real. And that authenticity is magnetic. I learned this during a painful breakup. I had spent months trying to be the man I thought my partner wanted. I reshaped my opinions, my humor, even my interests to keep her interested. But instead of drawing her closer, it pushed her away. Eventually, she told me, "I don't feel like I even know who you are." That hurt, but it was the wake-up call I needed. When I stopped editing myself and started showing up fully as me, conversations flowed more naturally. Relationships deepened. And while not everyone connected, the ones who did were connecting with the real me, which made those connections infinitely more meaningful. Purpose, the final piece. There's one more ingredient magnetic men all share: purpose. They aren't drifting through life waiting for something to happen. They're building, creating, or contributing to something beyond themselves. Purpose gives them direction, passion, and ambition, all qualities people are drawn to. It also changes the energy they bring to relationships. Instead of looking to romance as their sole source of fulfillment, they already feel fulfilled. Which means they can approach relationships from abundance, not need. The secret of magnetic men. So what's the secret of instantly attractive men? It's not one trick, hack, or line. It's the integration of several qualities. Self-acceptance that allows for authentic presence. Self-knowledge that creates depth and mystery. Authenticity that builds real connection. Purpose that creates momentum and passion. When these qualities align, magnetism isn't something you perform, it's something you radiate. And here's the paradox: the less you try to be attractive, the more attractive you become. The more complete you feel alone, the more others want to be part of that completeness. The more you know and accept yourself, the more others want to know you. That's the real code. The men who seem magnetic without effort aren't pretending. They're simply living as fully, courageously, and authentically themselves. And that, more than any strategy or technique, is what people can't resist.